we will begin with the new Batman trailer. I've been so excited for the new Batman movie to come out. I mean, the Batman series that Christopher Nolan did is, I think, one of the greatest trilogies of all time. My favorite movie as a whole to watch is The Dark Knight, not because it's, a superhero movie, but because I think there are so many fantastic truths and lessons and archetypal moments like woven throughout the story. And I'll get into it. But as you know, The Batman is the new one, and it's very dark, very different, and they released the final trailer. So we are going to check that out. Gotta love those dark pulls.
Hands up! Stay still! Get out of here!
That's a great shot. It's so difficult to get that lift.
Fear is a tool.
True.
But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning.
I do love that Robert Pattinson is playing this role. I think he took on the physicality really well. He survived COVID during the shoot. And we finally get the Riddler. That's the one thing you didn't get since the 90s when I believe Val Kilmer was playing Batman. The Riddler is a fantastic character, and it balances well with Batman being this imposing physical character and the Riddler just strictly being someone who is mentally ahead of everyone else. I think those are really cool balances. It's not as cool as the Joker and Batman because of what they represent. I'll get into that later, but I also love the music. I'm a huge Hans Zimmer fan, but I do like the music they did this film.
I've been trying to reach you.
Fire the gun!
This is about a king, and Riddler's the match.
I can take care of myself.
If this continues, it won't be long before you've nothing left.
I will say some of the best cast roles ever have just been Alfred in all these movies. It looks like Andy Serkis, who's one of my favorite actors of all time. You may not recognize him because he was Gollum in Lord of the Rings, and he always is the motion capture guy. One of the best, most underrated actors in Hollywood ever. And then you had Jeremy Irons in the new Zack Snyder series. I thought he was great. And of course, Michael Caine in the Christopher Nolan film. So I'm really excited to see what he does with the character there.
It's only gonna get worse for you.
Whoa, take it easy, sweetheart. Hear everything they say, ain't you?
Maybe we're not so different. Who are you under there?
I'm vengeance.
What's black and blue and dead all over? You.
Dear God.
I got you! I got you!
March 4th. I think they had to push that back because of COVID, if I'm not mistaken. Now you guys say, Ben, it's just a trivial superhero movie. Yes and no. There's a reason why movies like that keep getting made. And a lot of it is because it is just violently entertaining. But it also, the thousands of characters that have been created by people in the past 150, 200 years, especially like this new age of writing of heroes and myth. There's a reason why there's a few that stand alone and keep getting remade no matter how hard you try to make good ones, because they hit something that is just very rare in these characters. And I know it's not like, the Eternals Marvel movie just like is weak and no one really liked. But Marvel really focuses on honest situations, and these DC characters are archetypal characters, like have some real profound truth to them. Specifically Superman and Batman, those ones that people always go back to. I think Superman is like a perfect symbolic representation of a messianic figure like Jesus Christ, his story, his father, sending him to earth for basically the salvation of mankind, and even like what he represents. People just kind of like stumbling towards the light is like something that is it's a motif throughout the Batman or the superhero series of Superman. Another way they're very important is because they're attacked by the people that you want to be on the other side of, like specifically the left. Like there's no shortage of being attacked. These movies in particular on the right. Just Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises is one of my favorite ones that they did on this, and because literally the New York Times wrote on The Dark Knight Rises, Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy is notable for being much more explicitly right-wing than almost any Hollywood blockbuster in recent memory. I had thought that some of the conservative attempts to claim the 2008's Dark Knight as a brief for the Bush-era war on terror were overdrawn. But after watching the final movie's faux revolutionary villain appropriate themselves with themes and exploit the grievances of the Occupy Wall Street movement in order to launch a 21st century reign of terror, I don't really think the saga's rightward political tilt can be denied. My favorite is when it goes down. They say that it's one of the direct quotes. They quote a writer from a different article, but they quote this in the New York Times. It says, "It is no exaggeration to say the Dark Knight universe is fantastic. And I'm not name-calling or claiming that Nolan has Nazi sympathies. It's simply a fact." Can you believe that? Like, what they're mad about was The Dark Knight Rises. You have a left-wing authoritarian revolutionary trying to overthrow a government because he pits people, that the haves and the have-nots, against each other. It's just communism, basically, because you have people that are successful, that have thrived in Gotham, and you have the people that are still feel like they're underrepresented, and they start weaponizing. They start blaming the police and the justice system that locked all these criminals away so that the society could be healed. From the second movie to the third movie, and they claim that it was unjust what they did, and when you let all these people out of Arkham, and if you literally watch The Dark Knight Rises, the third one, you can see so many elements that happen today. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Batman series so much. Why I hope this new Batman movie is good. It looks great, sounds great, the actor's fantastic. But it's important because these are the kind of stories that can change the culture. For example, I did a lot of study. I'll go into more in detail maybe in some other video. But how the first movie itself is about who? It's about an individual becoming more than himself, to take the heaviest burden possible and carry it, and trying to steer people to the light, to be like a symbol for something that he is not good enough to obviously obtain. He wants to be a symbol of truth, or that people can latch onto, that can be a symbol for these people. It was pretty great. So you have like the individual maybe taking up the mantle of being a Christian and trying to steer people towards Christ, even though you can never be that good. It's like a symbol, and you're trying to represent, who you're aspiring to be. The second movie is about the what goes on in society. It's not really about Batman and the Joker. It kind of is on screen, but it's really about these two competing realities of having order and truth and justice on one side, and chaos and maleficence and this chaotic evil on the other. And they're fighting over the soul of Gotham, which is us. It's the peoples, it's the individuals. And even it's intentional that the Joker never actually has a backstory in The Dark Knight. He's just like this thing. He's this force that is, it's like gravity that draws kind of evil and resentment and distrust in people's souls and the hearts of Gotham, where they're even willing to give over their saviors to sacrifice the altar of this madman. And then you have, also in the movie, Joker basically hints that Batman is not real either. He mentions to him, he's like, "You really are incorruptible, aren't you?" Because he knows that no man is incorruptible, but Batman is in the movie, even though that's obviously impossible. And you see this played out perfectly with the boat sequence, where these two people, Joker's gonna show Batman that these people are irredeemable, and then but they still know good and they know evil, and they choose good, and it's great. And then the third movie is how when these realities play out, how we get to these evil or prosperous points in our lives. Like we had in The Dark Knight, the second one, Batman sacrificed himself. They're able to pass the Dent Law, and you have 8 years of peace. And what happens when really great men sacrifice everything for us? Well, you have a moment of a good time of peace, and then in good times breeds weak men, and you have these weak politicians and these these, weak people start taking over Gotham. There's like this 8-year gap period. And all of a sudden, evil starts rising this period. And then, weak men give way to bad times. And that's what you kind of see played out in Gotham, where this hell kind of rises up from literally underneath it. And it's so great. So I really encourage everyone to, I know I rambled on for a lot about Batman, but I'm really excited about the new one. And I really do encourage you to watch Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises with a new appreciation for how deep these stories are. They're fantastic. I think you will definitely not regret it, because